Okay, this is an odd problem because they're showing it like it's a surface area of a cone, but it isn't working that way because the surface area of a cone is not a full half of a circle. So we got to interpret this a little bit here. The key to this is that that's point O, which means this number right here would be the slant height, which would be this right there. So that means that this half circle, which is pi r squared over 2, that's the area formula of that half circle, is going to have to be equal to that number right there. So we're going to go 39.27 equals 1/2 pi r squared. I'm going to divide by 1/2 pi, and that's going to give me let's see here, 39.27 over 1/2 pi. Getting pretty close to 25. So 25.000 with some stuff way over there. I'm going to take the square root. It's going to give me a radius of 5. Now remember, that's this number here, which is this number here. So L equals 5. The circumference of the base of the cone, this one took me a second. So if this O right here is the top of the cone, that means that this distance right here is going to be this distance right here. And again, if you've ever seen a cone laid flat, it doesn't make a perfect half circle like this one does here. So this isn't perfectly applicable to every cone, but that's okay. So that means that number right there, so it's going to be half the circumference of a circle. The circumference of a circle is pi times the diameter. So we want a half of that. The radius of this circle that's all shaded in is the slant height, which is 5. So it's 1/2 times pi times 5. That's going to give me my circumference of my circle on the bottom, which is also the circumference of the half circle. This is a lot going on all in one problem. So we've got a half times pi times 10. I think I put a 5 there. It's the diameter, so it should be 10. Which gives me 15.707, 15.707, which is just 15.7 to the nearest 3 significant figures. Now, to find the radius, so again, we're talking about 2 different things happening here. So it's pi times the diameter, and that's going to equal 15.7, which is the distance all the way around the outside. Again, stay with me here. We've got the red circle on the cone right here, and we've got the red half circle there. Those are the 2 same thing. So that means I'm going to solve this by dividing by pi. And that's going to give me that the diameter is probably pretty close to 5. Let's see, 15.7 divided by pi. 4.99, so it's going to be pretty close to 5. So 4.997, which is 5 to 3 significant figures. So that's the diameter. I shouldn't circle that because that's not the answer. The diameter is 5, which means chop it in half. Radius is 2.5. Again, a lot going on there. The math looks much simpler than the concept they're asking you is. So that's 2.5. Then it says find the height. Now I've got to zoom in here a little bit so I can make sure we can see this. This is 2.5. That slant height right there is 5, and I want this. It's a Pythagorean theorem question now. 5 is the hypotenuse. So it's going to be a squared, b squared, c squared, 2.5. And then remember that the 5 slant height is the hypotenuse. That's 6.25, I believe. So 6.25. So then that's going to be 18.75, I think. 25 minus 6.25. 18.75. Square root of each of those. 4.33 to 3 significant figures. So like I said, there's a lot going on in that problem. This is not applicable to all cones. But for the way that they have this set up, you really got to think your way through that to get all the way to the end. So just be careful with problems like that.